Right now, my present life is gone. My former life.
What do you mean by that?
I'm here, basically, and so meaning that when I say that, it's basically I'm aware of the road ahead of me.
Look, buddy, you told the deputy that you came down with that. We don't know your story. That's what we're here to hear.
Okay.
We want your story. That's all.
My story is I don't have a license, and basically I have a baby on the way. My girlfriend's pregnant, and I just went to the store just to get her something. The officer came and like almost cut me off with the lights, kind of rammed me and tried to stop me or whatever, and I just didn't stop. And then by the time I did stop, he was like, "Get out of the car," and I was like, "For what?" And then other things happened. I'll just leave it at that. But
He was in his car. Or he was out of his car.
he got out of
the car.
First, he like kind of pulled me over. He kind of like forced me to pull over, and then he got out of the car. I was like, "Get out of the car," you know what I mean? Like he was like, "You didn't see the lights, get out of the car." And I did get out of the car. I left, and then
Because you're afraid about your license.
I was afraid about a lot of things. But
That's what I want to hear. That's what we want to hear. What was you thinking? You know why he was stopping you?
that's maybe because of the dreads, black guy in the neighborhood. Maybe he didn't have any kind of nothing he can look for. Maybe he didn't have nowhere to be. Maybe he thought I was suspicious. I don't know. But I seen lights.
Did you feel like he was harassing you? Is that what you're saying?
Basically.
Okay, I got you.
Basically, that was the whole thing. It was. I was doing nothing. I came from the store. I was driving.
What road were you on when he got behind you?
Canner.
Okay. You headed towards US 1?
Mm-hmm.
Or headed the other way?
Heading towards US
Headed towards US 1? Okay. What store did you go to?
I was just going around towards the by the 7-Eleven. Went in and then when I turned around, he was like coming, and it was like he was like by the church over there on Canner, and he like made a U-turn. And
You weren't drinking or nothing. You hadn't been doing nothing wrong, right? Is that no drinking, no drugs? You weren't driving erratic, right? So tell me what do you think he pulled you over for? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I have no idea.
Were you wearing your seatbelt?
Yeah.
The tags on the car all good, up to
He
date?
didn't even get a chance to see my tag.
No.
By the time I turned in, he was coming this way, and he made a U-turn.
So you think he just kind of
I
saw
don't
you
know if
turn?
maybe I was just driving a little too. Maybe I wasn't. Like maybe I was just.
Yeah, right.
I had a window open. I was just driving, and he whoop.
Tint on the window, loud music, nothing.
That's probably the thing. No tint. The window was down. Hey, black guy riding around, old school Corolla. You know what I mean? Hey, let me just check him. Let me just see what's going on here. And I mean, like I said, I don't want to incriminate myself for anything because.
We understand.
It's basically that's what happened. You know what I mean? I didn't do anything wrong. Well, basically, I didn't approach him. He approached me for a random reason that didn't have anything to do with traffic violation. It didn't have anything to do with driving the wrong way. It didn't have anything to do with me doing something outside of what I'm supposed to be doing on the road.
Right.
That's all that happened.
And all he said to you when you got out of the car, get out of the car, did you see the lights?
He put the lights, get out of the car.
Like on a speaker thing?
No, he got out of the car and was like, get out of the car. Like he pulled me over and was like, you just like get out of the car. And I don't have a good. Somebody forcing me to get out of my current place is not something that works well with me. You know what I mean? First, and that's I'm just leave it at that. So I wasn't doing anything criminally wrong. I wasn't doing anything criminally wrong. I wasn't doing anything traffic violation. Besides, like I said, I'm working on getting my license. I'm getting a DUI, taking a DUI class, or not DUI, but like the traffic class to get my license and everything situated. But I'm working on it. I've been paying tickets, and I just went to court last week. The judge was like, okay, when you bring that paperwork in, you know, you're fine. So, I mean, I'm not really supposed to be driving.
But it's only a misdemeanor.
Yeah, a misdemeanor.
Right? And no, I mean, you had no drugs in the car. You didn't have anything to be worried about. The worst thing he could have done is give you a ticket for a misdemeanor driving on a suspended license, or I guess you could take you
Or the
in
worst
for that.
thing he could have did was
Arrest you for that.
or said, "What the hell are you doing? Get out of the car," and shot me down, or anything. Or
Tell me that's an interesting comment you make.
I mean,
Tell me why you think like that.
because you know, it's just, it's not. All right, I'm gonna say it like this, and like I said, I know you're probably recording. Are you guys recording?
Yeah, of course.
I have respect for law enforcement. I have respect for, you know, authority. But it's just, danger is danger. If you feel that you're in danger, you're in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And I'll leave it at that.
Now, I didn't see him. I was not even nowhere near him. I didn't see you till I walked in here. That's the first time I ever saw you.
Mm-hmm.
I was 30 miles away when all this went down this morning. How was he dressed?
Like an officer.
He was in his uniform? He wasn't in, like, gray gear like Cash would wear or anything like that?
No, I seen a gun. That's what I seen.
Okay. Was it in his hand or in his holster?
I just seen a gun, man. I'm gonna leave it at that.
When he walked up to you mean?
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
That's, you know what I mean? Like I said, certain things I will answer, certain things I won't.
Okay,
I have a
we respect that.
You know, but
all you gotta do.
Tell me what am I charged? What am I charged for?
All you gotta do is tell us whenever you don't want to talk. I want to make sure you're clear about that. We're just trying. You told the deputy you want to tell your story. We want to give you that opportunity.
That's all. The only thing to my story is I'm here and I wasn't doing anything criminally wrong.
I mean, I'm looking at you. You're sober.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. I don't think you've been drinking or on any kind of drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have. Do you have mental issues? You don't have any mental health, right?
No mental.
I mean, you're smart. You go to high school?
No, graduated in 25.
Well, I know. I'm not saying now, but did you go?
Yeah, graduated high school.
Where'd you go to high school?
At William T. Dwyer. I went to Jupiter also.
At Dwyer grad. Now, what are you doing up? How long you been up here?
For some years. But that's just migrated. That's a long story. But
all right, Dwyer.
Did
you go to college too?
Am I charged with anything or? Obviously, I'm charged with things.
Obviously, you're under arrest.
Under arrest.
We haven't exactly worked out what the charges are yet. But obviously, you're under arrest.
Okay. How does that work for, like, how long will I be in here, or where will I be going?
I can't say how long you're going to be in here.
Is it like
and you'll be going to the sentencing county jail.
And I'll be booked in as some kind of charge against me.
Why would you say murder?
Not murder, or a shooting, or whatever.
Fleeing and eluding.
Fleeing and eluding, whatever you know, attempted murder, whatever. That's what you didn't even tell me what I'm being detained for. It could be for driving, it could be for fleeing and eluding, it could be for anything. So obviously you're trying to put something on me, you know. So if that was the case, then you should ask why I did what I did. You know, you would ask, you know, what I did, why I did what I did, or whatever. You know, I don't know what you detectives like to ask, because you haven't even told me what I'm charged with.
And we haven't asked you that. Why did you do what you did?
Because I was in fear of my life, you know what I mean, and I wanted to be able to breathe another day, or just be able to not be put in a position of like, be at the disposal of another human being, you know what I mean, for something I had no, you know what I mean. I don't know, the way he approached me, man, was so abrasive. It was like, or so aggressive, you know, with all his armor, body armor on.
Why didn't you keep driving after the first stop? So you stopped the first time, and then you take off, and that's fleeing and eluding, big deal, okay? You take off. Why did you stop that second time? Why didn't you just keep going?
He made me stop. He forced me to stop. He ran my car.
Oh, okay. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, he ran my car.
He hit your car?
Yeah, he like ran me off of the road while I'm just trying to.
Gotcha.
So, I mean,
that's why we're here. We're just trying to understand.
I know you. I mean, it's not like you're trying to help me, obviously.
No.
But I mean, you're just trying, you know, obviously, but you know, you're trying to get.
We're trying to get the facts. We're trying to get the facts. You know, you said several times that we're trying to put stuff on you. That's not the case.
Okay.
We're trying to gather the facts so we can put the puzzle together.
Okay.
All the pieces are there. We just got to put it together.
What you got to remember that is at some point in time in the future, you're going to want to tell your story. And if your story doesn't match up with what the evidence out there shows, then that's not good. So this is the best time for you to tell your story is when it's right here fresh in your mind. Because in 6 months or a year or 18 months, you're going to be like, nah, you know.
That's all I have to say is just, you know, I was in fear of my life. Period, man.
All right. Can we talk about you? If we don't talk about that for a minute, can we talk about you? Where you're living, who you're living with, your girlfriend?
I don't have enough to talk about that. It is, you know, until y'all can tell me what's going on, you know, outside of this room. I don't know.
Well, and we're investigating. So, I mean, truthfully, we don't know exactly what all's going on yet.
What do you want to know? If we can tell you, we'll tell. What
am I, when you take me to the, if you take me to the county jail, what am I going to be booked? Or what charges am I facing?
All right, let me, what do you think? What do you think we're going to arrest you for?
I don't know.
Just take a guess. Take a guess.
I would like for you to tell me that, please, if you don't mind.
Okay. Did you discharge a firearm today?
I mean, can you, like...
Well, I'm trying to give you a clue.
I mean, I don't have a law book, so I don't know
Okay.
what statute is
Let's
involved.
start at the bottom. Driving with no license.
Which is where the whole thing started.
Fleeing to elude a law enforcement officer. That was the second step in the process. Okay? For sure. Okay. And what do you think after that?
I mean, I would like for you to tell me.
Okay. Shooting at a police officer. I mean, let's quit playing games. Shooting at a police officer. You're going to be arrested for that.
That's the charge that I'm going to...
Yeah, you're going to be arrested for shooting at a police officer.
Tell me your name, right here. Your name?
Vanessa Tyree.
What did you want to say, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Take your time.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, ma'am.
Judge, you already have heard about the life and the temperament of Eriese Tisdale. He is an intelligent and nonviolent young man who I know on that morning did not plan on killing anyone, and especially Sergeant Morales. I know that the law for premeditation states that even 3 to 5 minutes before a person kills another, that's premeditation. I didn't know that before I came to this courtroom, how many months ago. I do disagree on that. One definition that I've seen for that states premeditation, a premeditated crime involves careful planning. Unlike so many other mass murders that were planned weeks and months ahead of time, where the gunman has gotten up many guns and killed many, many, many people. This is not that case. Eriese did not wake up that morning on plan on killing anyone. No one did he plan on killing. He went to the store to buy some orange juice for his then girlfriend, 7 months pregnant. He didn't break any laws going to the store, traffic-wise or anything, or leaving from that store that morning. But he was stopped by Sergeant Morales. I feel no one really knows what went on at that first stop, and that is unfortunate. There was no dash cams or anything that available. This has been a nightmare for our family, for the Morales family, for everyone involved. And I plead with the court for you to please give him no more than life. As I said, the premeditation the law is a little bit too simple for me. I thought it was someone who had planned for weeks and months and did all this type of planning, involved planning, to kill someone. He did not. He woke up that morning, went to the store, and everything happened after that first stop with Sergeant Morales. And no one knows what happened. And I'm just going to say this is my own belief. If Eriese did not have a gun in that car that day, he would have been dead instead of Morales.
Morning, Ms. Tisdale.
Good morning, Judge Vaughn.
What did you want to say?
We are here because of fear. Because of no dash cams, body cameras, If my son had been killed, Gary Morales would have been put on paid administrative leave, the outcome justified. Why? Because his position gives him the authority, the power to kill, not to injure and ask questions later. This conduct by officers has been going on around the country for years. There are a lot of great officers that go far beyond the call of duty, and Gary Morales probably was one of them also. Now with social media, cell phones, incidents are now being captured. Such cases as Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and now Corey Jones. And you ask the question, my son in fear for his life? No one wants to talk about the character or the demeanor of Mr. Morales. On February 28th, the way in which he approached my son is the reason why we're here today. My son, Eriese Tisdale, was in fear for his life. What happened on that day has forever changed both families, friends, co-workers, communities forever. Not only does my son deserve to live with this devastation and tragedy that we all are facing today, but this needs to set a platform so he can be an instrument to other young men of his experience, the do's and the don'ts, how to behave. He is a changed man. My son is not the same person that was arrested 3 years ago at the age of 25. Now 28, grown spiritually, mentally, and educationally. He has much to give back to community. He has much to give back to a correctional facility to be an instrument to help other young men to keep this type of situation from ever happening again or making them think twice of the outcome and what the future can hold for them. My son deserves a chance to be an inspiration to other young men as to the right choices to make in life so that this doesn't happen again. So I ask that the death penalty be put off the table and he's given a chance to rectify. We cannot bring Sergeant Morales back, but to use this situation to help other young men in the community are devastated by things that has happened in the past with officers. And like I said, there's a lot of great officers, and Gary Morales probably was one of them also. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tisdale.
I believe that's all.
Sir, you're fine right there. If you just want to stand up and say what you wish to say.
I want to say that just as no man can weigh the heart of another man, my future lies not in man's hands, but in God's hands, the creator of all mankind. Just as no man can put his passion inside another man, no man can judge me with true weight as the so-called justice that's supposed to be done today. So I know that no matter what happens, my future will always be in God's hands. And no matter what, one day I will walk free, and that is by the grace of God. And it's through the true justice, which is justice is a gift to all mankind, which is freedom, forgiveness, and faith. Therefore, I know that that is the reason why I'm still alive today, and that is the reason why I have a voice to speak to all of the young men who don't have a voice to speak, whose parents are still grieving and have no reason to know why, have no understanding of why their son or their daughters have passed away by the hands of so-called justice. Therefore, when I walk free, I will be a voice to all the young men who have no voice, all the young men who have no understanding of why they can walk the street and be harassed for no reason at all. These same laws are the same laws that said a man cannot walk free without a slave walking free pass. and had justice to be put on them for being a free man back in the 1800s, 1890s. These are the same laws that this man here is trying to put on me today to tell me as a man what rights I have as a man. So therefore, I want to say also to the Morales family that I am truly regretful to be responsible for the pain that they have today, because man is made in God's image, and a man is someone who is supposed to be the carrier and the protector for their family, so I can understand what kind of hurt that will end to that family. And I want to say that I am truly sorry, and I'm truly regretful as a man to be able to sit here in this position to be the man with the finger pointed at to be responsible for this situation. But I want to say that no man was there to know my heart. No man was there to know what I had in my eyes and the feeling that I had in my chest on February 28, 2013. So therefore, I just want to say that I ask that something changes about the law, because there is no balance to this law. When one man, because of the color of his uniform, can walk free without no repercussions for killing a man, shooting a man in his back, shooting a man as he tries to get away, there has to be some kind of law. That's what I ask. No matter what my future holds, there's some kind of law that can balance. Just as there are aggravating factors to make a man who is convicted of killing a law enforcement officer, there should be aggravating factors for a law enforcement officer who kills a harmless young teenager, to balance this weight. Other than that, there will be a perpetual cycle of violence, because man cannot estimate what reactions a young man will have towards someone who carries a badge and a gun. So I do want to say to all the young men out there on the streets to follow peace and see your next man not as a man but as yourself, not as an opposite man but as yourself. Whether they're police or whether they're a person on the street, or whether you're a police, don't see a criminal as a criminal, see him as yourself, because he has the same blood and breathes the same air that you do. And that's all I have to say. And God bless everybody, and I just hope that everything works out for the better. Thank you.
In carefully weighing the aggravating factors that were established by the state beyond a reasonable doubt against the mitigating factors established by the defense, it is not simply a quantitative analysis, but is a qualitative one. It is this court's duty to look both the quality and the nature of the aggravating and mitigating circumstances which have been established. Under such an analysis, and upon reflection and consideration, the proven aggravating factors substantially outweigh the mitigating statutory and non-statutory mitigating factors. Therefore, Eriese Alfonso Tisdale, as to count one of the indictment, first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer with a firearm in the lawful execution of his legal duties, it is the sentence of this court and the judgment of the law that you be sentenced to death for the first-degree murder of Sergeant Gary Morales. As to count two of the indictment, aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer while in possession of a firearm, the court sentenced you to serve 15 years in the Department of Corrections. I am required to impose a 3-year minimum mandatory sentence as required by Florida law. As to count 3, will adjudicate you guilty of possession of firearm by a convicted felon. Sentence you to serve 15 years in the Department of Corrections to run consecutive to the sentence imposed on counts 1 and 2. You'll also be given, I am also required to impose a 3-year minimum mandatory sentence on that offense. As to count 4 of the indictment, fleeing and eluding, the court adjudicates you guilty, sentence you to serve 5 years in prison to run consecutive to the sentences imposed on counts 1, 2, and 3. You'll be given credit for 1,156 days served by you on that sentence up until today. I'll assess the statutory required court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, and the public defender costs as made reference to earlier without any further court hearing. It is further ordered that you, Eriese Alfonso Tisdale, be taken by the Sheriff of St. Lucie County to the Florida State Prison and there be kept in close and secure confinement until the date of your execution is set. It is further ordered that on such time as scheduled by the Governor of the State of Florida, at the place of execution named in the Governor's warrant of execution, you be put to death. You are hereby notified that the judgment of conviction and sentence of death are subject to automatic review by the Supreme Court of Florida. You are further advised that you have the right to the assistance of counsel in filing and preparation of your appeal. If you wish to have counsel appointed for your preparation of your appeal, you may advise the court through your lawyer, and then counsel will be appointed on your behalf. You have 30 days, sir, to file an appeal. If you're unable to afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Well, it's all good. God got the last say so.
Thank you all very much.